Now suppose we're given this expression here, 3x squared plus 2x, and I want to factor it. What I want to do, as we mentioned before, is to find a greatest common factor, something in common between the two, that's multiplied times a set of parentheses. Remember, factoring is reinserting parentheses and multiplication into an expression. Now, the most direct way to do this is to factor each term. So I can write 3 as 3 times 1, and x squared is x times x. And I can write the second term as 2 times 1 times the factor x. Now this 1, a little later, is going to play an important role. Of course, it's not absolutely necessary, but it will help us avoid some problems in the future. Now, I take a look through these two terms for what is common. Now I have a 3 in this term. There's no 3 over here. 3 is not a common factor. I have a 2 in this term, no 2 here. 2 is not a common factor for these two terms. However, we do have an x in common. There's 1x in this term, 1x in that term in common, and I cross the x out of each term, and I write it in front of the parentheses. Now you've also noticed there's a 1 in common, but we don't factor out a 1. If we did, we'd have x times 1, which just gives me x again, and it doesn't change this factor in front of parentheses. Now when I look at my remaining two terms, there's nothing in common, so I drop the remaining factors down inside the parentheses. So 3 times 1 is 3 times x is 3x. 2 times plus 2 times 1 is a positive 2, and we are finished. I've factored my original expression, and x is called the greatest common factor for this problem.